Howdy, bitch.
Why are you doing it when I'm sipping?
The look is crazy.
Hey there.
Howdy, bitch.
How's it going?
How you doing?
Welcome to Coming Up for Air, an introspective podcast.
Introspective cockcast.
I'm your co-host, Jaxon.
I'm your co-host, Brendan. Gang shit, no lame shit.
Jesus Christ. And today we're talking about video games' impact on society. We live in a society.
We're gamers.
Yeah, we're gamers. So we're going to talk about... We are gamers. We're going to talk about our relationship to video games, how they kind of impact kids, your formative years and stuff like that, communication skills, and just kind of what they've done to society and everything. We'll kind of be a little all over the place with it.
A little bit.
And at the head of this episode, I do want a real quick shout out our lovely friend Shay. She did some research for this episode, so big shout out to her.
Shout out Shay. I didn't know that. Gang shit. Appreciate you.
So, the fuck Jesus, this episode. Let's hit a check-in. Brendan?
I really remember a solid, I remember driving up in Friday night.
Real quick. We were supposed to record 3 days ago.
Hella. And I ended up in Flagstaff for Tequila Sunrise, which those of you who don't live in the state of Arizona, there's a nice little town, right, in the north side of Arizona. It's called Flagstaff, right? It's where everyone goes snowboarding. It's where everyone does their shit, right? It's like a little town. It's like maybe 5 miles wide, if that.
It's about right.
Right? So it's a very small town, right? And every homecoming weekend for Northern Arizona University, Saturday, right? That Saturday, so Friday night they shut down all the bars at like 8 p.m., right? Early as shit. Everyone go the fuck home, get ready, because tomorrow morning you're getting fucked, right? And then that Saturday, right? Everybody wakes up around like 4:30, 5 o'clock. Some people don't sleep. It really just depends on the vibe you're in, people you're around. But if you're of age, right, because we don't condone underage drinking, if you're of age, everyone goes to the bars. They go bar hopping, and they open up at like 5 a.m. for VIP and then 6 a.m. for everybody else. And then they just day drink. It's literally dagers all day, right? Now, for the underage fucks, all the sororities and frats and all that, you go on frat row where they have all your frat houses lined up, and they just throw fucking ragers, right? This year, I wake up at 5 a.m., 5:30 a.m. We have a homie who lives on frat row. He's not like in a frat house. He's one of the houses like Ragnarök. It's literally on frat row. I wake up 5:30. We're sleeping on the couch. 5 cop cars lined up outside already. We're like, the fuck happened, bro? Like, were we asleep? Like, it's only 5:30, bro. Like, what the fuck, bro? I guess not only because of the shit that happened last year, which I was up for last year. It was a great time. But I guess this past Halloween, they got like a shit ton of fines because they just do a whole bunch of stupid ass shit. And they blame it on the fraternities, which, of course, because, wow, they incite it, you know? So there's literally cops waiting, like undercover cops in like brown like sweaters and shit like that, and like beanies. Fucking, they just look like regular dudes. Not really. They look like your like stereotypical TV show undercover cop. It's kind of it's stupid. And they're wearing like the necklace badge, and I'm like,
you know, you legally have to tell me you're a cop, right? If I ask you're a cop,
I'm like, bro, you literally look like a Fed, bro. Shut up, right? And so you can tell. This is how anal they were being about all this. They were literally waiting outside, waiting for a kid to throw a beer can or something like that. Hey, bro, are you 21? Are you 21? Can I just ask you, see your ID real quick? Because it's public intoxication. So they're just wrapping kids up left and right, bro. They shut down a frat house by the time it opened up at 6 a.m.
Damn.
Right? So me, Kobe, the homies that, we're staying at, I don't know if they want to get name dropped, so I'll just leave it alone. We all come out, bottles in hand, fucking packs of Twisted Tea, and then I come out, obviously, with my big old fat all rolled up, right? I walk out like the bitch. I'm like watching the cops just like fuck with everybody, and we're on our side of the street. We're not even out in the street. We're literally like on our property chilling, and you can see all the cops kind of go and like look around, and I'm sitting there like just staring at them, bro. This dude's like, and then turns around and keeps walking. I was like, you did not want to pick one with me today, bro. I was like, I have my card. It's legal. I'm 21 and I'm on my side of the street. That cop was literally going to have my whole entire cock down his throat by the time we were done with it. I was so ready for it, bro. But it was a good time, honestly. We went to the tailgate, got some good content. Kind of got some shitty content because all the fucking shit got shut down. So we couldn't really do interviews like that. But yeah, you saw a lot of fucked up ass people, bro. And like, oh, bro, I hate saying this story like this, but it's like the best way to describe it. Okay, I'm gonna be as nice as possible, right? I used to be a very big person, so like I know what it is to be big, right? Let's just say this very large human being, right? Nothing against them, right? This very large human being. She got absolutely plastered. I mean, like
sloshed.
Like beyond sloshed, right? I saw 4 dudes on each side of her, picking her up, tossing her ass in a fucking truck. Had to go to the hospital because she was so fucked up. Have you ever seen 4 solid-looking dudes struggling to get a body in the inside of a car?
I don't think I should answer that.
You're right. It is the funniest shit in the world, bro. Especially when they're just as drunk. Like we just saw a whole bunch of shit to where like we would really just look at each other and be like,
It's just what Ireland's always like.
Yeah, but it's like it's just weird to see like a whole city like converse and like.
You know what you'd probably love? Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
In Germany.
Yeah. I would want to get, and you know what? Oktoberfest is my favorite beer. It really is. I love Oktoberfest. It's so good. Oh. But yeah, it was cool. Had this dude buy me Saturday night. We went to a club, and I had this dude. I don't know how he ended up, like, this dude was riding me and Kobe. Like, he was like, these are my fucking dudes. Me and Kobe were like, yeah, let's fucking go. And he ended up just, like, introducing us to his homie. And he was like, bro, these are fucking homies right here. He's like, I'm going to buy them a Jaeger bomb, right? Buys us all Jaeger bombs. Jaeger bombs, by the way? Nah.
They're not good.
At all.
No. There would. Either somebody who wants to be cool and is really old drinks, or somebody who doesn't really know what alcohol they have access to.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what. Jaeger bombs, no bueno. First one goes around. Me and Kobe are like, oh, that fucked us. Like, that was like right there. Homie looks at me. He's like, another Jaeger bomb, bro? Kobe's like, nah. He's like, so you gonna drink for him? Because your friend's being a bitch. And I was like, Kobe was like, yeah, bro, go ahead. I'm like, all right, bro. So he goes and buy me another Jaeger bomb.
Because you submit to peer pressure.
Yes.
Because of course you do.
That second Jaeger bomb, I'm like, oh, I'm fucked.
Jaeger's not even good.
Not even a little bit. Third Jaeger bomb comes around. I'm off. Regardless, had a fantastic weekend. It was a great time. Don't really remember much of it. I just know I had a good time. Hung out with some cool ass people. Bench pressed 135 for 23 times, drunk as hell. Didn't expect to do that. I was thinking like maybe 15, 16. Shit. Frat dudes around you. fucking Kobe's around you and his homie. Yeah, you got this. It's lit. It's a good time. It's a great time.
Psycho.
Yeah. Testosterone's like extra. You feel like you can just run through a fucking wall. Frat dudes are a different type of human being, bro. Like, we don't have to go into it. They're just different human. I'm like, you're an NPC wholeheartedly. You're not real. There's no shot. Because the shit that happens, you're like, in what world is this okay? Like, in what dimension is this allowed?
We were supposed to record 3 days ago.
Hello.
And we're supposed to have a guest on. So they're coming on next episode, maybe.
Whatever that is.
There's been some issues.
Some technical issues with the peoples from the peoples, you know?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we were supposed to record Friday.
But then Brendan was like, oh, dude, because we're switched recording days. And then Brendan was like, dude, my bad. I said this to you and then forgot that I wasn't going to be here.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, we could record Friday nights, easy money, bro. And then left Friday. And I was like, ooh.
Oh, I texted him. I was like, hey, man, you good for tonight? And he goes, oh.
I literally texted him. I was like, ooh, my bad. I'm so sorry. What are you, what are you checking in with?
We started this podcast right before we hit record. We were like, no cuts.
All the cuts.
Fuck. Okay, so I want to talk about this veterans dinner I went to. So every year for the past 18 years, there's been a veterans dinner that my grandpa originally started. So he's part of this group. Well, he was part of this group. They're called Knights of Columbus. They're basically a religious sector. Most of them are veterans. They do a lot of really good charity acts and stuff like that, but they're also kind of weird. As most groups are, kind of culty vibes, honestly. So here's the deal. Then my grandpa passed away. And I've gone to a lot of these. And they still keep his name on, like, the stuff. They say, like, his veterans ceremony thing. Like, it's a dinner that is there to honor veterans and then, like, give out awards to certain people and acknowledge, like, active duty people and stuff like that. And my grandma gets invited every year. For the most part, we've kept going. Not always, but for the most part. And like I said, ever since he passed away, they keep doing it in honor of him. So his name's on all the information. Mm-hmm. This is important for later. These dinners suck. Okay? They're not fun to go to. I'm sure that for some people they're great, but for me, okay, it is 2 hours of my life that I spend basically sitting there listening to old white people talk about how great it was to be back in Iraq, Korea, or Nam.
I miss the good old days.
Yeah, literally, like, whenever they they'll shout out people basically and hand out awards to commemorate them. And they'll be like, they'll say, like, your favorite memory being in the armed forces. Why do you...
Back in my day.
Yeah, literally, it's favorite memory, reason for wanting to be in the armed forces, or, like, reason that, you know, whatever. And then it's like, like, why you love serving this country, or whatever the fuck it is, right?
Because you want an excuse to shoot people.
Crazy. It's wild every time. Because so I go with my grandma because it can be hard to go. You know, they will talk about him sometimes, and they will always reference her. Of, like, if she's there, they'll be like, thank you also, Jaxon's grandma, for coming in, you know, honor of Jaxon's grandpa. And, you know, it can be tough. And there's a lot of stuff that is reminiscent of his funeral. You know, the Knights of Columbus were at his funeral because he was one. And so one thing that's always hard for me is the Knights of Columbus will bring in the Stars and Stripes. And it's like I see them walking in, and it just is like a snap back to that day.
It's like one of those photo
it just is an instant. Like, I remember exactly what it was like. I remember exactly being in the space that I was at. Like, it is just a flood of memory. And so, and then there's some other stuff there. And like I said, she used to go with him all the time because he hosted these. He made this thing happen. And then I would go and help him out or, whatever. So, I don't drink wine. I did get wine, though, because I just couldn't do it. This dinner was it's just not a good time. The food's not good. It's mid. Actually, they got a new guy. Normally, it looks like a crazy fucking Italian guy, right? This short, snubby man.
Snubby man.
Yeah, he's got like Einstein hair, and he's bug-eyed. And
they don't make good food?
No, it's not good.
That's crazy. Usually the people who look the craziest whip up some.
No, dog. And like food. You can tell he's Italian, but the food is like, it's buns, dog. It's not good.
Like, bro, I remember walking into like a ghetto ass fucking restaurant in my grandfather's part of New York, in the Bronx. This dude looked like he was on at least 4 vials of heroin, 3 spoonfuls worth of meth, and he made me the most fire rice and beans and chicken I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, this guy, no, not good. It's bad. Dude. But new guy, new cook just dropped.
New guy.
It was mid. Better than the last one, though.
It's for a bunch of old ass white people.
Yeah, well.
What do you expect?
So I was like, yeah,
fuck them.
But and there's really beautiful stuff at this ceremony. There's like an empty table that they leave.
Yeah, people don't go there for the food.
Yeah, it's a thing. And so here's the deal: Knights of fucking Columbus are the ones who still sponsor the event, technically. Mm-hmm. The section leader, okay. Mm-hmm. Gives a special speech because he's a guest. He's a special guest. He's not normally there. Mm-hmm. My grandpa and my grandma raised my cousin effectively. Mm-hmm. Cousin came out as gay. It was a very big deal. Mm-hmm. Shouldn't have been, but it was. And then everything was fine. Everything was good. They both love her. All that stuff, right? Okay, this is the important part. This guy comes up. He starts talking about how, we need to get younger people in. We need the younger group to start becoming knights. And then he talks about, I don't want to get too political. And instantly, as soon as somebody says that, you go, oh, no.
This man and is about to say some out of pocket shit.
Dude literally looked like a fucking cranberry. Like, my man was walking. And I've
waddling.
Yeah, like my man was not, and he goes, and it's a Christian organization. And so he talks about being Christian. He talks about like how,
one of the 31 flavors of Jesus.
He goes, fucking Baskin Robbins up in here.
It's real life.
So he goes, like there's less and less Christians nowadays. We're a dying breed. I'm like, that's crazy that you just said that. Actually, it might be Catholic. It doesn't fucking matter.
Another flavor.
Yeah. So he's like, this is less and less. And then he goes like this. He goes, cute. And then he goes, part of the problem is that we're letting these kids do whatever they want. They need to be brought back to us. They need to go back to the roots of us, to the roots of Jesus. And then he goes,
to the roots of white people.
We need the straight relationships. We need the relationships between men and women to be a prominent force again. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? And let me tell you, I've never sat up so quick and got so angry so fast. Because here's the deal. He goes on this tangent and talks about how gay people aren't okay. And then some other stuff that's also not kosher. Stuff that's deep and personal to me. And is deep and personal to my family. And then I look down and I go, my grandfather's name's on this. Yeah. Not only are you talking this shit,
dumbass shit,
at a veterans hall, nothing related to what you're doing right now, but also it's on my grandfather's name. It's sullying his name by doing this shit. And maybe that's me being dramatic, but I was like, what a fucking cunt. What a dumb bitch. Oh, dude.
What a fucking...
You literally, and then he talks to us about like, young people need to get in there and vote, and you need to vote with your mind, you need to vote with your heart. And I've never once in my life ever felt so angry and been like, man, dude, you're not even going to be alive to see the results of that election. Shut the fuck up. Like, you're on borrowed time, baby.
No, real life, bro. You wake up and go, oh, I made it again.
Freddy Krueger didn't get me today.
I didn't expect that. What am I going to do with my day now? I didn't really want to plan it out.
It's okay. I know what our audience is. We don't have that many people that are over the age of 50. You guys are cool.
I mean, shit, we all on borrowed time, technically.
Yeah, I mean, anyway, this has been a really long check-in. Let's dive in. Well, there's going to be a lot that we cut, though, so by we, I mean me.
It'll probably even out.
You know what? Anyway, if you're out there listening, which I know you're not, but I hope that the world fucking gets you back, because you're a dumb bitch.
Hey, you fucking slooter-thooter.
You're just a fucking bigot.
I hope someone cuts the tip of your penis off at night.
It's funny because he also made a joke. He was like, yeah, my wife wishes I would shut up all the time, and she, like, clapped, and I was like, I do too. Your wife's right. You should shut up. Maybe that's your fucking problem. Like most... Take
a breather. Take a breather. A little woosah. A little...
Namaste. Welcome to Coming Up for Air. Today we're talking about video games. Brennan, let's dive in. I'm hydrophobic, but we're going deep.
That means he repels water, by the way.
Fucking Casey gaming.
Casey breeding.
What is your relationship to the video games? Don't you fucking dare.
I'm not.
Don't act like I'm not that important.
It confuses
Stop
me.
fucking...
I'm sorry.
That's why your mic goes so high.
That's why I'm so high.
No, that's because...
I'm really not.
What is your relationship to video games? This is a serious podcast.
My relationship to video games is low-key, like, I don't know, grew up.
Yeah, when did you get introduced? Kind of, what's your standing?
All right, bet. So,
how they impacted your life?
All right, so first console I think I had was
we don't gotta go that deep. We just...
No, I know, but I'm gonna give you a little rundown. First console was, I think, a Nintendo 64 or the GameCube. I think it was a GameCube, right?
Those are so different.
No, I know, but we had the GameCube. And so I guess the most shit I remember is when we started with the PS2. PS2 for me was like
when
goated.
did you roughly start playing games?
Probably like 8 or 9.
Okay, how have they impacted your life? What is their role in your life?
I don't know. They gave me some type of personality, some type of character to like basically go and do whatever I want, be whoever I want. I was able to create like, or not only that, but you were able to take on like. It's kind of like why I like fucking with anime, because you get to take on this persona or this character and you get to just really like do your own shit. You know what I mean? I was a big, like the first games for me were like Tekken, Madden, Mortal Kombat. God of War was an early one. Should have not been playing God of War until I was at least 15.
Definitely.
Probably 16. I was playing God of War at like 12.
Peggy 16. I was the same way though. My dad was like, yeah. He just kind of was like, whatever.
The only game that they did let me play until I got older was GTA, and that's
not even an issue for me.
And that's because GTA, you were able to go and like
bang it out.
Yeah, slut on some prostitutes.
I was playing like Resident Evil. And all
I remember playing one of the Resident Evil.
The Resident Evil 4 I played whenever it came out, and like that was rough, but like.
Saints Row
also Saints Row 3 crazy.
Should have never been able to like go to.
I think that's such a weird thing because it's either like your parents had a real good hook on like video games and what you should and shouldn't play, or they really trusted the GameStop employees.
And every time they handed it to their kid, they're like, "Have fun."
Yeah, or you had just no care. You just were like, "Yeah, whatever, do your thing." But my dad was definitely more on that end, and he was who I always ended up getting games with because it was just relative and whatever, you know.
Oh, you know what game I remember? The Alien game.
Destroy All Humans?
Yeah, bro, that shit was lit. I missed that game. It was so much fun. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. this all to say, like, we both have grown up playing video games, and they've been kind of a big part of our lives. I used it a lot as an escape and kind of like a coping mechanism for a lot of stuff, and just like something to do. It was a way I connected with people and friends and stuff, both in person and online. Did you ever, now excluded, did you ever have any friends like in early console days that you like played online with?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I had two homies that I ended up running. I was in middle school, so like 6th or 7th grade, I want to say it was. Yeah, I think it was like late 6th grade, I would say. Fuck it. I would throw it in the dark. I was playing battle games with two randos that I met on, or I'd known one of them, but it was like because we were gamer friends, we had met on a different, I think it was like Halo or something like that, and then we ended up playing Black Ops 2, and I met another kid named Braden through him, and then we all just started running battle games, and then we did the zombies one where it'd be like two teams basically. It'd be like the total of 4, and it'd be like duos. I ended up playing with Braden, and
Feast, Hunger, whatever.
What?
I'm trying to remember the game mode name. You're fine. Keep going.
Oh, well, we would just play the regular one where basically the team that lasts longest would.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to remember the name.
Oh, okay. And it was always fun because it was like we'd always come up with ways to like fuck over the other team or like trap them in shit, and like if you got your shit done faster, you were able to like get your guns and shit like that, or like when the bus was coming, if you were able to like block off the doors or something like that and not let them get in, they get fucked on there, and then they have to last the whole round over there. Like, oh, it was a whole bunch of different shit. And yeah, you definitely met like, I think it's crazier because back then you met people who were like now you can kind of do Discord and see like what type of person you're talking to or like who it is type thing.
Yeah, but you just met people.
Back then, it was like you didn't know who the fuck you were talking to, like, at all.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they sound like a cool person. Friend request.
Yeah. Or like, damn, they're good at this game.
Yeah. Hella. Or, hey, bro, we should run this back. Yeah. You run a couple games, and then you never know. That ends up being one of the homies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that there's a lot of people in my life, or I ended up having quite a few people in my life who I only knew by their gamer tag. I didn't know their real name. One of them just got married in the past year, and then, but I never called him by his gamer tag. I actually ended up knowing his real name. But the other guy, he's getting married soon, and I only call him by his gamer tag. I know his name now, but like that's all I've ever called him. And we used to play all the time. Like we were like
in sync schedule.
Yeah, it was like
shit.
we literally like we would get on. I'd get out of school or like whatever, and then he would be off work, and he'd be like, "Hey, you want to play PUBG?" I'm like, "Yep." And we'd just run games.
Let's
and like,
loot.
Shout out to you, Soko. But like,
oh, I know who Soko is.
Yeah, I know who Soko is. But like, he's getting married, and I'm supposed to go to that wedding. Like, it's just kind of crazy.
You're gonna go to that wedding?
Supposed to.
That's lit.
Mm-hmm.
Where's it at?
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, you're probably right. My bad. My bad, gig.
He said, how do you think that? Okay, so here's the big thing that always gets brought up when it talks about video games and society. We live in a society. It's always violence.
Yeah,
and I think that was a very big thing, especially video games early on in its life cycle. And video games are still a very young hobby, culture.
You don't see a lot of adults.
Yeah, it's still a very like it is finding its footing. It is finding where its place in society and stuff, which I think is interesting to kind of see that nurture and grow and be a part of that. But I think earlier on in like 10 to the early thousands to like the late teens, especially around like 2012 all the way up to like 2019, 2018. It was a very big thing. It was always brought up was like, and I think it's always been there, but of video games being violent and making kids more violent.
Well, not only that, but with the amount of mass school shootings we had, it was one of the biggest fucking pinpoints in like,
and it's still brought up all the time now.
Yeah.
But I remember when there was like a law that was going to go through about
video games.
Yeah, like about the violence that can be in video games, and then that's switched over to being like the loot box, like passing of laws and stuff like that, and what you have to show to legally allow for loot boxes to be in games and stuff like that. Because at that point, when that was happening, I was in college, and so it was my job or my education was to know what was happening constantly in the gaming world, which could be hard to keep up with. But
it's a lot of shit happening.
Violence has always been the topic, so I don't want us to talk about it too long, because there's thousands and thousands of outlets that you can go look at or do your own research or find things on. But I do want to talk a little bit about it, like lightly graze it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
How do you feel? Do you think that violence is
I think
influenced?
I think it has, not like, it needs to get taken away, but like, honestly, no. I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna say no, because I feel like it's however that person takes it. Because you're not gonna blame the gun for killing somebody. You're gonna blame the person. You picked up the gun, right? So if you go and play a video game and you think that whatever's in the video game is okay in the real world, that's your problem. You fucked up. You know what I mean? Whatever, if you go, oh, I think killing people in this video game is so much fun. Obviously you see obviously you see clips of people just walking around GTA San Andreas, or like just fucking making people, you know what I mean? Headshot. You know what I mean? And then people go, wow, this is fun. If someone were to go do that in real life, that would be a very big problem. You know what I mean? And if they decide to blame the video game for that, to me, that's a little stupid.
It's like they can't differentiate the difference between like what's real and what's not.
Yeah,
which is a form of psychosis.
Dumb little duder.
So we have some research on this. So here's the thing. There are obviously a lot of research that is pulled both ways and the other, but research is biased sometimes. So here's the deal. There is evidence that society's always been violent. We are naturally violent creatures. Now it is just more public. We are constantly able to have an influx of information and always show what's happening. You know, this is not something that's like developed. I think that the spread of information and the people that are more and more upset and aware and actively outspeaking of trying to fix the problem is just gone up and made more apparent. So there's no finite video games do make you more violent, video games don't make you more violent. Mm-hmm. But there is a consensus that video games that are violent do nullify and almost, what's the word? I think it's literally in here, but it is, they make it to where violence is, what is it called whenever you experience something so much that it just kind of like, it's not as potent?
Desensitized?
Yes, thank you. You're desensitized to some of the violence and the extremities of it. Now here's the counterpoint. Media, movies, shows have also always been violent, and people consume them. Yeah, like, and they produce the same thing.
Yeah.
So arguably that is also desensitizing you.
My only argument with that
is you're not performing the actions.
Exactly.
Yes. Now here's the other counterpoint. You cannot find a non-biased and not already desensitized test subject.
It's literally in the world. Yeah. It's just
you have to take a baby
and put them in a box.
Yeah, and not give them that space, but they also need to experience what societal norms are.
Yeah.
While being completely devoid of that until they reach, an age that is ready for this testing. And in theory, you need a large enough pool of people to produce a test, which is a lot of people.
Imagine just 200 babies go missing for a science experiment.
That's not enough. That's still technically considered a small pool for a test like this. Wow. You need thousands. So that's the thing of like desensitization makes that conversation important, but I think that society is already so far at a point, if you walk up to people and ask them what their favorite TV show, a lot of people will say Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, at least if you rewind a little bit, Breaking Bad. These are all super violent, fucked up, gory shows.
And anime, if you look at Attack on Titan.
Exactly. Like, it's been around forever.
Yeah.
So to blame it on one thing as an scapegoat is like,
you my dick.
And I think that there is a natural fear that society has of creative outlets. For a long time, games in general, like board games, people would say they're demonic, like D&D, like TTRPG, because of the dice. Yep. They would say it's demonic because of the stuff that it depicted, the stuff that was in it, and like then the dice, and and then they started doing that with games and stuff and saying like that there's cryptic messages.
I fight my demons on a daily, bitch. What you think D&D gonna do? I test whatever demons in D&D to come play with me.
So I want to pivot us. There are a lot of really interesting things with video games that do have benefits that are prevalent in your society. What do you think some of the benefits that you've received from playing games your whole life are?
Benefits?
Yeah, what do you think are
good hand-eye coordination.
Yeah.
I think my reaction time is always been kind of like spooky.
Bueno.
Yeah, it's always been pretty solid, to be honest with you, because like your reaction times, especially in shooter games, like me playing Call of Duty and shit like that, playing sports games and then being in sports, like my reaction time and like my hand-eye coordination was always like on it. I think you learn a lot of things about it. It almost, and in some spooky ass shit, you almost learn the truth about the world, like through video games, if that makes sense. Because you got to think about like Modern Warfare 2, that campaign kind of depicted a fucked up ass military, right? And then we see it through all these movies, yada yada, this and that. You learn about backstabbing shit through certain campaigns, or you heartbreak, or you go through basically life,
narrative art forms.
Yeah, but with these video games.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And I think people who really grasp like what it is, like what it's actually supposed to be showing you, and can like obviously you're a smart person, so every time you see something you really take it on for what it is. You really like, oh, like they're trying to portray this, yada yada, this and that. Like you really look at it, you know what I mean? Not everyone does look at it that way, but for the most part you can kind of grasp what's going on, you know what I mean? And depending on the campaign or depending on the video game, they usually give you an option on what you want to do. 9 times out of 10 it's either good or bad, and it's cool because there's always a different chain reaction to it, you know what I mean? So I think a lot of people, like, at least for me, like, kind of growing up, I tried to look at life as, like, a video game. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I tried, like, my hardest to be, like, MC energy, main character vibes, yeah, you know what I mean? And, like, I tried to always think about, like, shit in, like, almost like a movie or, like, a video game scenario. You know what I mean? Just to, like, try and, like, see, I guess, the right way to go. You know what I mean? I've always tried to look at it, like, I don't know if I'm the only one who does this, but I've always tried to push it in like a movie scenario or like a video game scenario. It makes it seem easier to like decide.
Yes, and I get what you mean, and I've definitely done it, but I think that that's also such a very dangerous well.
Oh yeah, yeah, but it's just
you're not careful about it.
Yeah, it's just knowing the line. You know what I mean, and then like deciding like, oh, I can't chalk this up to a fucking video game or like a scenario, you know what I mean? But it's just like for like stupid shit or like for things that are like, I don't know, I can't name them off the top of my head, but it's just more of like in this situation. I always think about like if I have like a reference to a video game or like if I have something, I'm always like, oh, like they did this in this scenario, you know what I mean? So just a little shit like that.
So there are actually a pretty good amount of like benefits that research shows video games have on society. So there are a lot of ways that video games are being used in education and therapy, which is cool. But I don't really want to hit those yet, or if we even really do talk about them, just because that's kind of a deep dive into like some other stuff. But there are things like certain types of games like MMORPGs, say for example, or like team shooters, or like things like LOL and stuff like that, that really help develop team coordination skills, like your ability to work as a team and develop healthy habits with a team. Obviously, you can give and take on some of that. And then your communication skills. It's funny because we say all this stuff, and then you think, like, your gamer brain thinks of like, COD Modern Warfare lobbies, and like, or Overwatch 2 touch grass, like, like,
I'll tell you what, bro, them Modern Warfare lobbies are different.
But like, that's the thing, is like, it also teaches you other skills of like how to communicate, how to cooperate with people, because especially when you think back to earlier years when you're playing with certain people and you create friends, or whatever you do, you create this understanding of like how to cooperate. You like develop these like crucial skills of like time to react, and not just reaction time, but like to think, process, and then analyze threat level of like whether or not to,
and what I have to do, how fast I gotta do
your threat decision making skills. There is a lot of pro-social behavior basically in that. It encourages you to have interactions with people. On the flip side, it also does limit. If you are someone who plays a lot of really solo heavy games, or games that strongly influence parasocial relationships, so things like Persona, other stuff like that, things that give you that social interaction feeling, but you're not actually communicating with anybody. It can cause you to self-isolate because you are so heavily investing into these characters, or you're seeing yourself in this narrative, that you pull out from the things around you, and you'd rather be so invested in that than
you think you're Kratos and you're not.
Yeah, or some, you saw it with whenever WoW came out, of like people just being addicted, which is an issue. Video games have an addictive trait to them, and that is one of the negative repercussions also, is video game addiction. So yeah, I think that almost everybody who has been a gamer or played games for a long point in their life has suffered this. At some point or another, it is a thing that you kind of deal with, and it can be when a launch of a new game comes out and you just love a game, and all you can, like, you live, breathe, and eat this game. Like, it's all you think about.
That was me in Modern Warfare 2, bro.
Or it's, like, you need to be playing something. It doesn't matter what, but you're playing something. You're getting lost in something. I think that video game addiction really comes in whenever you enter a situation of like going through a very hard time and looking for an escape or an outlet, and that is what you find.
Especially now with Discord and the fucking rabbit holes you can go down, and
yeah, because you can find like-minded people.
Yeah.
And then that's all you want to do. You don't want to experience outside. You don't want to go anywhere. And you obviously see people nowadays memeing on that, of like
not touching grass.
Yeah, you're not touching grass. The
not
fucking,
knowing what the sun looks like.
Yeah, the virgin who sits inside incel on his computer.
The dude, I've seen like the Tony Starks in the cave memes. Yeah.
But how do you feel video game addiction has had an impact on society or in your life? Either one.
I definitely would say in middle school I was addicted. It was like I would get out of school, come home, chill in front. I would literally. So say if like my monitor was right here, I would literally like on a flat screen TV put my chair right in front of the TV, bro, and you could not move me. When I started, until I felt like I was done, or until my mom told me, yo, if you don't turn that shit off, I'm gonna smack the fuck out you. It was one or the other. But you could not pull me off that bitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was like all the time. It was nonstop, 24/7. I just want to be good at this game. I want to have fun at this game. Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2, Madden, 2K. I remember There was a time in summer where my mom would get up at like 5:30, 6 o'clock to go to work. I would turn off my TV, jump in bed, act like I was sleeping, wait for my mom to leave, jump back on and keep playing with the homies because we would just stay up all night. You know what I mean? It wasn't healthy. I was eating fucking chips and shit like that and just fucking doing whatever, you know what I mean? Which is why I was a little fat boy. You know what I mean? But don't get me wrong, it's great times. Mm-hmm. It's fantastic times. That's it.
I was the inverse. I like would skip meals. I wouldn't eat because I would just want to keep playing.
Oh, I was eating everything and anything in the fucking pantry.
And so I would snack on stuff, but like I basically just wouldn't eat. There was days where like I just didn't consume.
That's crazy.
And I just like never left my room. For me, it was mostly high school, and then like I had a little bit of middle school, but mostly high school. It was really bad. And that's where like a lot of like my really strong onset depression and some other stuff. And then like I got really into CSGO, and like there's certain games that brought it in, but like whenever I was playing competitive, it was like I was deep in it. And like, you know, those games last for an hour.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. And so, you know, there's a difference between like, oh, I stayed up all night playing with the homies, and then like I stay up all night almost every single night playing with the homies, and I don't do anything else. And obviously, you know, you kind of find your mileage of like, this is a hobby that I enjoy and that I love, and this is an addiction because I don't want to stop. I never want to stop playing, and, you know, whatever. And it's all that matters. How would you fight that? How did you break yours?
Sports.
All right.
Because sports always kept me like touching grass, literally playing football. But yeah, sports is, and I was also a goofy kid. Like, it's different, I think, for me, because I was a very goofy, loud, outgoing kid.
Yeah.
So I never really had a hard time, like, socializing. I was the kid who, like, get the phone call, hey, your kid won't shut the fuck up in class, but, like, he's a really good kid. It was one of those. But, yeah, I would say throw yourself in some sports. If you're still in school and you're addicted, get some bitch. No, I'm just playing. Honestly, bro, make a fucking living out of that shit, bro. If you're in school right now, dog, focus on that shit, bro. Be a fucking gamer. Be an addict. Do it. I would.
That's the message.
I would.
I think that just like every addiction is hard to get out of, I think that there are certain things that kind of have to pull you out, and it depends on what your situation is, you know? There are things that...
Video games definitely helped me through a lot.
Yeah, like, you know, if you're depressed or you have anxiety or you really don't do well in social situations and you find that comfort, you find the ability to do the things that you normally struggle with in that outlet, then 9 times out of 10, you'll just want to keep going back because you are constantly chasing that feeling of like, I am what I normally cannot be.
You got a little dopamine or serotonin.
But if you're able to produce that in the digital world, you can produce that in real life too. Mm-hmm. It's all about the mentality that you have and the way you try to approach it.
The way you make me feel
really turn me on.
You really turn me on. You really go. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for responding to this real quick. Hold on. All right, yeah, that's not a conversation I need to have right now. That's tragic. I just got some very bad news. I have to find a new wingman. It's fucked. She was helping me build the roster, bro. I thought it was like something important because like she never really texted me around this time. I don't know if someone died, you know.
A lot of research kind of points to the concept that your intention, your reason for playing, and what you're trying to get out of a video game is the result of the video game. It isn't necessarily, how do I say this, is the outcome. You know, like, if you go in and you are committing violent acts and you're like, this is all that I want to do is like shoot people, and I just want to see bodies drop because that's all I want. It's not like I want to get my score higher, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm trying to hit a new rank. Like, it is just like, let the bodies hit the floor.
He's like 5 stars every time I like walk in type shit.
Yeah, if like, then that is what you'll get out of it, and that is
that's the message.
Yeah, you know, that is the positive reinforcement that you get, positive, quote unquote. So that is also why there's a lot of like unrealistic expectations with like conversations about what you're gaining from video games and what they provide.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's like, dude, that gets into a nature over nurture thing of like, if you are already a fucked up person, if you already have this like,
you're gonna cling to
poor view, yeah, like then like you could blame it on him reading a fucking book.
Yeah.
You know, like one way or another, they will probably get there though.
Yeah, they'll find it. The trigger will.
Yeah. You know, and the same thing applies with addiction. The same thing applies with like the positive things that you get from it. You know, you will at one point or another you find that outlet that influences you. I think that one thing that I want us to talk about, to switch gears really quick, kind of the last thing that I want us to touch on is, and this is something that's only so important to people who actually care about like learning, like hobbyists basically, who like learning about hobbies or in gaming, or just kind of want to know what that culture is like, which is gatekeeping. Because gaming is a open door culture that's gatekeeped.
In what way?
I think gamers really like to pretend like the gaming hobby is very open doors. It's very like welcoming and nice, and like, oh, we want people to play games, you know, we want people to have fun, but also we're gatekeepy as hell. You know, you log onto a match and you're like, you're rank 1, like you're only this rank, like, you know, this game's been out for this long, you know, like, or like, oh, you got this many hours and you're only this rank, like whatever it is, or like, you're trash, kid. Like,
yeah, or even like the Christmas noobs. I remember that was a huge thing.
Like Christmas noobs was one of the most fucking mind-boggling, annoying trends, and it's still around, obviously, but like, and that, for people who don't know, Christmas noobs is basically like, it's mostly a console term, honestly. It's becoming kind of a PC term now that PCs are becoming more accessible and stuff, quote unquote.
Basically, like when you had COD come out in November, and then you would have those kids who weren't able to get the game, or like those people who weren't able to get the game until Christmas. Those were called Christmas noobs because they're newbies in Christmas.
Yeah, and because they only were able to, you know, they either didn't have a job of their own, or like, you know, their parents just couldn't.
They just didn't have the facilities for that.
I don't got the facilities for that, big man.
So, right, they would show up on Christmas, and then for the next 2 to 3 months, they're getting shit on. And I mean, like, absolutely just fucking plunger in the backside, no lube type shit.
Whether it be, like, comms-wise or gameplay-wise.
Yeah, gameplay. You're just getting shit on. As soon as they see the level 1, you're like, this fucking guy.
Yeah, it was.
What'd you have you do? Have your mom buy you a fucking Call of Duty for Christmas, dude? Like, it was
it's
like
so gatekeepy.
Yeah, and it's just like, all right, bro, we get it, dog. Like,
and like, especially against women.
Yeah, that's a huge thing. Is like
video game culture and women is not nice.
Yeah, the harassment that goes on is definitely not cool at all, to be honest with you. And I think some games definitely do have some fault for that.
Yeah,
for said reason.
Call of Duty is one of the worst. So is Apex. LOL is kind of bad too.
Which it blows my mind about Apex, because it's just the people who play Apex, but you literally have a whole LGBTQ game. Like,
I think that, and I'm going to be based here. I'm going to be based, and I know I'm going to be wrong. I feel like Overwatch is one of the best communities that I've seen when it comes to like women playing, and it's still not good.
Yeah.
Because it's either people are fucking dicked about it. CSGO is also one of the worst.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
No, dude, it's so bad. Like, there are people who are so dedicated to not playing with women that they will either leave the match or they will vote kick as soon as they talk. Because you can vote kick, and the whole team, green lights.
Oh, that's crazy.
Kicked. And they'd rather play 4v5
that's like
than
Siege.
play... Yeah, Siege also bad. But they'd rather just fucking kick the person and be like, nah.
I remember...
And I don't even get it. I don't even get why, but it's just like...
You remember that video that went viral on Siege about like the gamer girl?
Yeah.
It was like the whole group. I think it was like not Vanoss. It was like Schmitty,
KYR, Speedy.
Yeah, all of them. And I remember it was one of the videos where it was like the girl had talked, and then I forgot who it was, but he was like,
yeah.
He was like, "Is that a girl?" He goes, "How much for your toenail clippings?" And she was like, "My toenail clippings."
Yeah. She's like, what the fuck?
But it's just like the random shit that like some of it is like, oh, this is fun and like good content, ha ha ha. And then the other half is like, oh my god, I hope this girl doesn't like, fucking kill herself because they're shitty ass human beings.
Is the fun and good content at the risk or at the expense of her experience?
No, because I think it's only because or only if she like
vibes with it.
Yeah, like that girl in that clip, like that entire time she's having a good time, and you can tell.
Yeah,
because she ends up going with the bit. She's like, "Yeah, I'll sell you a jar of my pee, yada yada." This,
Jesus.
Yeah, she's like, "I'll fart in a jar for you, $50, bro." Like it's just
dude.
And he's like, and also like there, I remember it was like she was like, "Oh, if you clutch this, I'll send you pictures of my toes." And he goes, "Boys, I'm going in." And he ends up getting like 3 down, and then the fourth one, he's like coming around the corner, bro. He's like, "I got this, boys. I got this, boys." Dink gets dinked in the head. He goes, "No."
Okay, real quick, off topic. Speaking of women in games, do you know who the Botez sisters are? Alex and Andrea Botez?
No.
They're streamers. They're really fucking good at chess.
Okay.
Ludwig announced this new event, and it's chess boxing, and they're going to participate in it, and they're fighting one of like the best female chess players. It's basically a minute of chess and then a minute of boxing.
Oh. Nice.
Yeah, and then whoever wins, whichever one first, wins.
So imagine just like setting up your shit as soon as you get up.
Yeah, then you lose.
That's fucked. You want to play chess boxing? We can record it.
No.
Are you sure?
I think I'd kick your ass in chess, but I don't think that I'd win in boxing. So I'd have to hold out.
As soon as we get up.
I think that I'm nimble enough. I think I could dodge. I think I could.
Depending on our boundaries, maybe.
I think that, well, it'd be boxing.
Well, yeah.
Fuck? What do you mean the boundaries?
You wouldn't get a whole ass rink.
Rink? Like for ice skating?
Yeah. It's ring, but yeah. Hold my cock in your mouth, back of the throat, balls in mouth. Yeah. I don't think we get an actual ring though.
No, but I mean like, well, we could go to a boxing gym
and be like, hey, can we use this to record?
Yeah. Then they'd be like, yeah, that's fine. Just give us publicity.
I mean, if you really wanted to.
I think I'd love to kick your ass in chess, but I don't think I want to get beat.
Oh, I'd be so.
Do you know how to play chess?
Yeah. I'm actually not too bad at chess.
Do you play bullet chess?
I don't even know what the fuck they are.
That's basically what we'd be playing.
I just play chess. I play chess on iPhone.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would be bad. Anyway, it's tight. I want to go to that event.
That'd be kind of tight.
Mm-hmm. It's in December.
More violence, you know?
Yeah. I mostly am there for chess.
Oh, man.
Anyway, gaming culture gatekeeps so hard. And I think that it doesn't take much to see that.
Just go on Twitter.
Or Reddit. Or Twitch. Or YouTube.
Or anywhere that has any type of gaming platform.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's literally so public while also being so... And you hear people talk about it all the time, like, oh, I stopped playing because the game was just toxic as fuck.
Yeah.
It's like, we're like... Gaming inadvertently is like the fucking bigot man from the Veterans Dinner. Because we need people to keep wanting to play. We need younger people to keep wanting to play and to love games and like fall in love. And they keep doing.
And then we're like, oh!
And then we're like, you little fucking squeaker, you dumb bitch. Open your mouth in my lobby again.
Yeah, Mike sounds like you just rolled through a fucking forest and you're like,
yeah,
hello?
They're fucking swallowing the microphone. The only thing you hear is them drop 3 slurs in a minute time span.
And it sounds like literal, like, dog shit. But you definitely hear the fucking words that they're saying.
Yeah, it's fucking somebody took their microphone, threw it in a microwave, and then dropped it in the toilet and was like, all right, we're good to go.
Yeah, and then just decided to let out all the slurs. It's a great time.
All times. Let's come up.
Hello.
Brendan? Talking about balls.
Oh, we are talking about balls, bro. It's like $2 billion right now, the Powerball. I think everyone is losing their fucking mind right now. What would you do with $2 billion? Okay, with tax, probably a bill. I don't even think they'd give you a bill.
As I say, I think it's a little less than that.
I think you probably get like 700,000. Not 700,000.
Probably most of it would go to savings.
700 million.
I'd probably put like a quarter of it, maybe a bit more, like a third of it into savings.
Savings? Why don't you just invest it?
Well, because then I can take the other third, invest, and then the last third, I can do whatever the fuck I need to do with it. Or like put it in stocks.
So much money.
Yeah, that's my point. That way, at least in my savings, I have that buffer if I need something. I can put it in a fund.
We're talking like 240 million, essentially.
Yeah. It's good to have a robust savings.
What's the first thing you're buying?
Your mom. I'm so sorry. She's a lovely woman, and she lets us record in this household. Did she listen to this?
Probably.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, get your shit straight. What's the first thing you're buying, bitch?
Come back to me.
Come on, you? Hello?
Come up for air. Hello?
First thing I'm buying...
I'm paying off my car. If you're just saying like we take out all of that stuff and you're just like you just get to buy something.
Yeah, like fuck buying your parents a house, like something for you.
That's not my car because
that
feels a cop out, but I would definitely do that.
I would just tell you to trade in your car and then
upgrade.
Yeah,
upgrades, baby, upgrades.
I think I'm going to Scottsdale and buying me either a Rari or a Lambo.
Do you know how much the upkeep on those is?
Yeah, I'd only drive it around for a little bit.
And then what?
Sell it.
Just go test drive.
Nah.
You're right. I'm the dumb one here.
Yeah, I own it for like a week or so. Or maybe I just rent it. Maybe I just go to an exotic dealership.
Yeah, dog.
Hey, hold my fucking cock, okay? What car would I buy? I'd buy a GTR. I'm being honest with you. I really would buy a GTR. Or I'd go to Japan and buy me an R34 off rip. Buy me a house in Japan. I'd probably turn into a fucking ghost. If I'm being honest, I'd have Ken Block recreate his Hoonigan Mustang for me.
What would I buy?
Cock. Right in the tuchus.
There's this set of headphones. They're $5,000.
Why?
It comes with its own like amplifier. It's made out of cool shit. It has like quartz in it. You can see the like amps and stuff. It looks awesome. I'd buy that. Yours is a car. Fuck you. What do you want?
Mine goes 0 to 60 in like a couple seconds. You just hear better. I just shit on your whole thing, and I literally asked you what you wanted, and I shit on it. I'm so sorry.
I give a reasonable answer for the first time, then he goes, like it's the lamest shit he's ever heard in his life. Like I just made the most responsible decision ever. And then he goes, no, something like that you'd get for you.
I literally, we could redo that.
No, we can't.
I didn't mean it.
Yes, you did.
I didn't mean it. No, I didn't.
Don't fucking lie to me.
I didn't mean it. I think your headphones would be a great purchase.
They're super cool.
I believe you. I just don't think that would be my first purchase.
Well, yeah, because yours is a car. I don't care enough about cars that much.
That's cap. You love your car.
I love my car, yes, and I care enough whenever I'm getting a car and what they look like. I like cars, but I don't care enough to be like, my first car, I'm gonna get custom built by this motherfucker who I love his cars, because I don't know them that much.
I feel you.
You say certain things about my car that I should do, and I go, I don't know what that means.
Still think you should lower it.
I think you're fucking wrong.
I'm not wrong very often.
I'm not slamming it.
Not slam it, bro, but just take a little bit of the wheel gap out.
Anyway, and your big thing is cars. I love audio. Ooh woo.
Ooh fucking woo. You're right. I'm sorry I shit on your headphones. I love you.
Love you too.
Appreciate it. What are you coming up for? You fucking bitch. Go buy a ticket. Oh, wait, the drawing's tonight. JK, you're fucked. Get fucked. Get fucked.
And exactly...
If you would spill that...
12 hours from now, I'm going to be playing God of War Ragnarok. And I'm so excited.
Oh?
Yep. It is the first time in a while I've requested a day off from work to make sure I can play a game.
Oh, yeah?
And I have a series that I do when I stream called to 100%. And in case it's not obvious, I complete a game to 100%. And it's pretty lit.
Last God of War was pretty cool.
Yeah, this game's, I think, almost gold. Like, it's gotten 100s and 10 out of 10s across the board mostly.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm very excited to stream this thing to 100% again.
I'm very excited to watch.
Cool. Very swag.
I'm very excited to watch.
Hello. Good time.
That shit is fire. What's your favorite God of War?
The last one. 2018?
Oh, yeah.
Goated. It was fun.
Goated. I'm honestly really excited for Assassin's Creed.
Yeah?
I hope they don't. The Shinobi one, the Japan.
Yeah. We got a couple years for that. Or a little bit for that.
Yeah, and I think they brought back Ezra, didn't they? For this next one that's coming out?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm low-key. I'm down for that one, because...
A lot of video game talk today.
Yeah, he was 3, right? Or was he Brotherhood? Brotherhood was that shit. So was Assassin's Creed 3. I loved Assassin's Creed 3. That was like my shit. That was the Native American dude.
Mm-hmm. Connor.
He was a fucking baller.
Yeah, Tomahawk.
I remember Bo jumping off fucking horses, Tomahawk, setting little trappies and yanking motherfuckers
that
over trees.
Definitely is the Assassin's Creed that I had the best memories with.
Oh, yeah. That Assassin's Creed, you were able to hide in trees. You were able to, like...
It's kind of like the turning point for a lot.
Oh, yeah, because, like, it was just, like, the whole, like, guerrilla warfare type thing. Yeah. Like, he was in his element type shit. And it was, like, that shit was so cool when you were able to just...
Helping the white people.
Bro, and it was cool when you had, like, a whole group of white people and just one by one. You were just in just different sections while you were just laying bodies down and shit. Oh, my God, bro. That shit was nuts.
Such a weird podcast.
Yeah, this was a pretty wonky episode.
Yeah. Next episode should be lit, though. Speaking of next episode, we're ending this one. So where can they find us? Where can they find you?
KillerB420 at Twitch, Instagram, Twitter. KillerB Dabs on TikTok.
And you can find me at RQ on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok. Where can they find us?
Instagram, Coming Up for Air. Twitter, Up for Aircast. TikTok, Coming Up for Aircast.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please make sure to follow it, subscribe, and everything. It helps us out a shit ton, makes this podcast grow, and allows us to keep doing this and keep upgrading our equipment and the podcast and make it better and better. And if you haven't already, make sure to rate the podcast, like it, share it with a friend, share it with a homie, share it with your mama.
Your mother, your grandmother, your sister, your auntie, your grand auntie, your auntie's auntie.
I don't know why it's only the women, but...
Because they actually share the shit. Men will be like, nah.
Nah.
Later.
See you next Wednesday.